Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled or short-lived that I would like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the show called Deception, specifically the one that was on ABC, I want to say, what was it, 2018? Because I know there was a few things with the title of Deception, but this particular show was kind of like this crime drama procedural where, like, what was his title? He's not, I think he's technically a magician, but I think illusionist would be kind of the better description. Essentially, we find out, like, basically there's these twin siblings who for years have been kind of fooling people with, like, it actually being two different, you know, them being twins. Like, no one knew that the other twin existed, but one gets arrested for this lady's murder, but then it turns, and then, like, you know, he goes to jail, and the other twin, you know, trying to maneuver a way to get his brother out of prison, ends up working with the FBI because basically using his talents of being able to fool and deceive people, hence the title of the show, Deception, the FBI kind of brings him in to kind of help, you know, solve cases, and he has like a whole team behind him that kind of helps him, comes up with these elaborate, like, it has, like, if I had to compare it to anything, it's like if you took the TV show Leverage and kind of made it more illusionist based, you kind of get what this show is. And that to me, I think that's why I really like the show a lot. Sadly, it was canceled after one season. But like the way the season ended off, like, because there was like this overarching story because it has to deal with like their the twins' family, in particular, like their complicated relationship with their dad, who's now, you know, passed, but also just like kind of like family secrets type of situation because it ties into the main overarching plot, because it turns out, like, spoilers, that the woman with like two different colored eyes, like, it was all like a play. That the fact of the matter is that the twin brother got framed for this particular murder, but she's actually still alive and everything. It was the whole thing was like a setup. And like I said, there's a lot of overarching stuff connected as to why she did what she did. But I was actually kind of bummed that the show ended the way it did. Someone had hit me up a while back on Twitter that basically there were some articles that had came up. I think the creator of the show had basically put out some stuff of like, oh, this is what we had planned for season 2. I never looked at it because I was like, I think there was just some part of my brain that was just kind of like, I'd rather not kind of know ahead of time, just in case something ever did change. But obviously at this point in time, nothing ever changed. But it's one of those days it's one of those shows I still got my fingers crossed, hopeful. Like, I'm not hoping for just like, oh, one more season type of thing. I want the show to kind of live as long as it possibly can. So if it needs to run 4 or 5 seasons, I'm down with that. It needs to run longer, I'm fine with that too. But it just seemed like a really interesting, because, you know, I've talked about it before. I'm a big fan of police procedurals and stuff like that. You know, I'm fine with that. I know that can be a daunting element for certain people when it comes to crime dramas and stuff like that. I'm fine with them. But I would have loved, you know, to see, like, you know, where the story would have gone with this, you know, what other kind of elaborate things they would have done on the, you know, kind of, you know, like I said, on a more magician, illusionist front and stuff like that. So I just, like I said, I thought it was a really cool show that I would love to see get brought back, you know, for an extended run, and not just like I said, not just a one-off season, for as long as they want to go. Like I said, if it's 3 seasons, cool. If 4 or 5, I'm fine with that too, you know. Obviously, the first place that kind of comes to my mind is like, well, obviously like a Netflix situation, or maybe even a Hulu, just because of that ABC connection. You would, maybe Hulu could be a possibility, but if anything were to bring, I don't know how much stuff Hulu brings back. I know Netflix brings back a handful of stuff, but I think even then it's like Netflix doesn't bring back as much stuff as you think they kind of do. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a property where enough people watch it that it will warrant like a Netflix or even a Hulu to decide, oh, we're gonna bring this show back. But I would love something to be done with this property. I wouldn't want a reboot, especially considering the show literally came out like 2 years ago at this point in time, more so a year or so. But still, like I said, I would like a continuation if possible. But, you know, like I said, we'll have to wait and see if anything ever happens, because currently there is nothing on that front, at least that I'm aware of. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good